Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I am your host, Lorna, certified food freedom coach and founder of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. I've spent 10 years in an unhealthy relationship with food, binge eating, over-exercising, and feeling insecure in my body. This podcast is all about helping you get to the root of your food struggles and teaching you how to rewire your brain so you can end binge eating. If you're ready to improve your relationship with food and cultivate more self-love towards yourself and your health, this is the podcast for you. So let's get to it and jump right in. Hello, you guys. Welcome. I wanted to do a super awesome training today for you guys to give you very specific tools for you, depending on where you're at with your relationship with food, depending if you are binging, if you are overeating, if you are emotionally eating, or you're struggling with body image. Because the reality is there are different tools that you need to be implementing if you are binging and feeling out of control with food compared to somebody who might just be doing some overeating. And I've posted videos on my Instagram and things like that of the differences, but I'm just going to quickly kind of go over the differences and then I'll actually share tangible tools with you. Okay. If you are popping on, say hello. We got Agnes in the house. Hello, Kayla, Angie, Sam. Hello, you guys. Welcome. Okay. So binge eating, this is you if you are feeling out of control with food. So you can't just control yourself around cookies. If you have one cookie, next thing you know, you're having two, then you're having three, then you're having four, then you're going in the ice cream, and then you need something sweet, and then you need something salty, and then you got to go back to sweet. Like, you just have no control. Binging is typically done in secret when you're by yourself. And for me, my binging was always done the moment that I got the house to myself. Like, I got the house to myself and I'm in the pantry and I'm just eating. And it's how you're eating. Binge eating, because you're so out of control, you're most likely standing up in front of the pantry, right? Like eating straight from the box. You guys, I would literally have dried cereal out of the box. And I'd just be like eating it like there was never going to be any more cereal. And I wasn't even, you don't even taste the food. You know, when you're like eating so fast, you're standing up, you're literally scarfing so much food in your mouth at once. It's like, I got to a point where I wasn't even tasting the food. And the thing about binging, it's not even about the taste of the food. Binge eating, you're not wanting the taste of the food, you're wanting the feeling. So for me, it felt like a sense of relief, a sense of comfort. It literally felt like I entered like a black hole and like the world stopped for a moment. You know, if I was like, you know, anxious or stressed or whatever, like there was always food to just like, I just need a moment, you know? So binging is out of control, no control. You know you're full and you just keep on eating. Like, I'm telling you, zero control. I was eating chocolate chip banana bread frozen out of my freezer, standing up, eating the box of cereal like straight from the bag. That is what binge eating is. Okay. If you can relate to binging, give me some hearts, drop a yes, drop a me below if you can relate to the whole binging aspect. Okay. It's very, very, very common. The second one is overeating. So overeating is when you eat, obviously, past fullness, but it's not like you don't have awareness. So overeating can look like you finish dinner, okay? You finish dinner and it was a good meal and you know you're full. Yes, Kayla said everything you said 100%. Very common, Kayla, I see you. So overeating is like you finish your dinner and it was good, it was satisfying. You're like, I feel good. But then you just go into the pantry because you're like, oh, I remember I have leftover cookies, or like, I just need something sweet. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with having something sweet after your meal. But the problem is you're not even hungry. it's just like, oh, I just want more food, right? So you go into the pantry and then you have some cookies and then you're like, oh, okay, probably didn't need those extra cookies. Like now I'm like way too full. Or even with your dinner, you finish dinner and you're full, but automatically you go for a second bowl or a third bowl and you're not even hungry, but it's just so in autopilot. It's like the food just tastes good. I just want more, right? I can't stop when I start. Yes, Robin, right? So, this can happen whether it's like, again, it could be your meal, it could be like lasagna, it can be whatever meal you're having, right? Or even a snack. It's like you have a bowl of popcorn and you're like, okay, I'm good, but I just want more. So then you go back for more and you're not in autopilot mode. You're aware that you're going for more food, but you're like, I didn't need that. Like here I am now, got to unbutton my pants. Like I'm feeling a little bit too full. And the thing is, yes, I always feel totally compelled to overdo it. Like it's an obsession. Yeah. And I talk about this in a few of my programs, but a lot of the times it's like feeling uncomfortably full, but it's also comforting. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't eat past fullness and you're so used to eating past fullness, it almost feels like restriction. But it kind of also feels like I can't focus on anything else because I'm uncomfortable because I'm not yet so full, because so full is what I normally, eat until. So it's like this whole thing, right? So I totally get that. So that's overeating. Okay. Now, emotional eating is when you're not hungry for food. You want comfort. You want relief. You are actually hungry to meet your needs. We all have needs, right? You want to feel validated. You want to feel seen. You want to feel safe. You want to feel validated. You want to feel comforted. You want to feel validated. You want to feel like you belong, right? And the thing is, when you don't feel like you belong, when you don't feel validated, when you don't feel love for yourself, when you don't feel comforted, when you don't feel relief, when you don't have enough pleasure in your life, food becomes your main source of pleasure. Food is like the main thing that brings you joy at the end of the day. After a long, stressful day at work, it's like, oh, it feels so good. So that's really the emotional eating. It's you're not meeting your own needs and you're just turning to food to try to meet those own needs, right? So even for like emotional eating, like for me, I definitely resonated with all of them. Like binging was like the main thing for me, but I definitely overate at literally every single one of my meals. And without even recognizing it, I was emotionally eating. But for me, it's like when it came even to the emotional eating aspect, it's like I would never experience pleasure in my life. Like I stopped going out with friends. I stopped hanging out with people because I was so self-conscious about my body. I was so worried about being spot on with my diet plan. I was so worried about I got to wake up and do fasted cardio tomorrow that I literally would not go out with friends. And then literally I didn't have pleasure in my life. So of course I was using food to try to get pleasure because I wasn't experiencing pleasure in my life. Even being intimate with my partner, I never wanted to be intimate because I would feel bloated and gross and disgusting, especially after a binge. Well, if you don't have pleasure going out with friends and living your life and, being intimate with your partner, well, pleasure is a basic human need. So then all of a sudden you're turning to food to try to get those needs met. And yes, it's so common to feel like food is the only way I can relax at the end of the day. Food is the only way to like calm my mind. But that like it's just a Band-Aid solution. It's like you feel relief for 5 minutes and then you go back to like regretting it, right? And a lot of the times it's also a form of like procrastination, right? So let's say you're like, I have to clean the house, or you have to get something done for work and you don't want to do it. It's like, oh, I don't want to go do that thing. Let me just eat, right? To kind of distract myself because I don't want to do this thing. But then you go eat and you still have to go do the thing. So it's like now not only do you have to still send the email, you still have to clean your house, but now you're doing it with guilt and shame and you're feeling disgusted and you're feeling regret and you're feeling frustrated and you're mad at yourself, right? So there's all that. Okay. Hey, Jen. Jen's one of my clients. Hi, Jennifer. So good to see you on. You've made it on live. Awesome. Okay. Now, body image struggles, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory, but body image struggles is, it's not even that you just don't like your body. Body image struggles is you are obsessed with the way that your body looks. Hey, Nicole. Body image struggles is you are obsessed with the way that your body looks. You walk past a mirror and you like have to double check the way your body looks. Somebody takes a photo of you and you're automatically like, can I see the photo? Like, you are just obsessed with the way that your body looks. That is really body image struggles. Body image struggles is body obsession. Body image struggles is just body obsession. You're obsessed with the way that your body looks. You know, I grew up as a dancer, and I remember just always, body dysmorphia, like just always criticizing every little physical thing, you know? And I remember even when I was a personal trainer and I used to film workout videos of myself. My mom used to film workout videos of myself. And I was so obsessed with my body and so insecure that I remember getting mad at my mom that she wasn't getting the right angles. My mom's not a photographer. And I'm like, Mom, you're doing it too far down. My arms look massive. And the reality is, it's not the angles. It was the way that I was viewing my body. You guys know what I'm saying? It's like, even when I was at my smallest, I still didn't like what I saw. Even when I was at my smallest weight, I was still nitpicking. Oh, the roll on my stomach. Oh, my arms look so big. Oh, this, oh, that. And I was in the smallest body. And now it's like, if you look back at photos from maybe a few years ago, you're like, how did I not like my body? I look like what? And now you like wish you looked like that. But at the time you're like, oh, I look so fat. I look so ugly. And it's like, that just goes to show you it's not about your body. It's the perception of how you view your body, right? That's everything. Okay. So who's ready for some tangible tools? Okay. Whether you're binging, whether you're overeating, whether you are emotionally eating, or you're struggling with body image, I'm going to give you some tangible tools today so that you can actually, implement and start making progress. Yes, you absolutely have to remind yourself of the progress that you're making along the way. Absolutely, Stephanie. That's so important because, again, something else, it's always like, yeah, but I'm not there yet. Yeah, but I'm not in the body that I want yet. Yeah, but I'm not binge free yet. Okay, but what have you experienced? What are you experiencing? Maybe you were able to eat something without guilt. That's progress. Maybe you never thought in a million years that you would ever be able to do that. And that's something that you've been able to do. Okay. So if you are binging right now, drop a me down below. If you're binging right now, drop a me down below. So if you're binging, you need, and this is not in any particular order, but if you're binging, you have to release your food rules. You have to release your food rules. When you are binging, you are probably depriving yourself. You probably have food rules, right? You probably are telling yourself, no, you can't eat that. Oh, no, you can only have half a cup. Oh, no, you can only have 5 almonds. Like, you probably have these crazy food rules. And the reality is, when you have food rules, guess what? You want to binge more because you tell yourself you can't eat this, you want it even more. So if you're binging, you have to release your food rules, and you don't have to go from all these food rules to no food rules. You can do it slowly, right? But think about all the foods that you binge on. Think about all the foods that you binge on. It's probably foods that you never allow yourself to have. For me, I used to binge on sweets. And when I was a personal trainer and I was a health coach, I used to go to my fitness studio and I would pack my lunch, and I would only pack healthy meals, whatever healthy looks like for you. I'd pack my healthy meals. You would never see me pack chocolate or bring sweets with me to lunch, because in my mind, I'm like, well, if I bring it with me to work, I'm going to eat it. So I better not. I can't have that during the day. I have to eat clean today. I have to eat healthy today. So I would eat my regular meals, and I enjoyed eating healthy, but I wasn't really satisfied. And I'm like, oh, I really just want chocolate. So then come the end of the day, I would have these intense urges, and what do you think I would binge on? Not one sweet, not two sweets, all the sweets in my pantry. Like literally all the sweets. So yes, I'm gonna put this on my podcast. Hey Connie, one of my badass academy clients. Hi Connie. So good to have you on. So yeah, chocolate, right? Like all the foods that you tend to binge on are probably foods that you never allow yourself to have. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing, if you're binging, is you actually have to give yourself more time between feeling the urge to binge and giving in. Of course, you don't want to give in, but even if you can create a little bit more time between I feel the urge to binge and giving in, you're going to weaken those neural pathways. If you feel the urge to binge right away and you're like, screw it, I'm so weak, I'm just going to give in, like I don't even care, and you give in, you are training your brain that the only way you can experience comfort and relief is by giving in. And that's not true. Right? You are so much stronger than your urges. And I'm going to be talking about this in my upcoming program, Stop the Urge. I'm going to teach you how to get rid of your urges. But the first step is you got to create more time between feeling the urge and giving in. And eventually you don't want to give in to your binge urges at all, right? Because you don't give in, then the next urges are going to be less intense over time. Okay. All right. The next thing you need to do if you are binging is you need to have satisfying meals. Because if you are not having satisfying meals, so like I like to use the example of, let's say you have a salad and it's not really satisfying, like you wish you would have just had, a bowl of pasta, but you're like, oh, I need to get my protein, so I'm going to have some meat and some vegetables and with my salad, and you're like forcing yourself to have that, even though you really want the pasta. That can create an urge because after your salad, what are you going to do? You're going to be thinking about all the foods that you just want to eat, right? So that is why you have to make sure your meals are super satisfying. And I know it can feel scary because people often link more satisfaction equals more calories. But I want to give you a shift in perspective. This is what I do. If I do this all the time, is giving you guys a perspective shift. Instead of seeing more satisfying meals as more calories, see it as I'm going to feel more satisfied so that I don't binge later on thousands of calories. If you have a satisfying lunch, if you have a satisfying dinner, you can literally prevent a binge later on. And you're actually going to be saving yourself way more calories. Okay. The next thing is to stop judging yourself, right? If you're binging, you got to stop judging your food choices, because it's the judgment that leads to the binges, right? So again, you have a piece of chocolate and you're like, oh, I messed up. Oh, I shouldn't have had chocolate. Oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. Like I was trying so hard. I told myself I wasn't going to have chocolate. Well, because you're beating yourself up, what do? You want to feel better. So then it's like, oh, let me just eat more to try to help me feel better. And also I kind of have the screw it mentality because I already ate something that I probably shouldn't have had. So like, I'm going to take advantage of it and I'm going to finish the rest of the cookies. And what else usually makes me bloated? What else can I have? Now that I'm already bloated and so full, might as well take advantage. I don't allow myself to normally have bread. So I'm going to make myself a sandwich, and I normally don't allow myself to have ice cream. So I'm going to have a bowl of ice cream. You're going to have all the foods that you never allow yourself to have because tomorrow you got to get your shit together. Right? So there's that. Hey, Sarah. So there's that. The next thing that you want to do if you're binging is you want to start introducing foods that are off limits or previously off limits, and start having them at a time where you're less triggered. So let's say, for example, by the way, drop some of your trigger foods down below. What is a trigger food for you? For me, it used to be chocolate, sweets, cashews, peanut butter, dates, and almond butter. That was like a huge trigger food for me. Granola, cereal, protein bars, like those used to all be trigger foods for me. So what you want to do, cookies and noodles and chips and cakes, right? Those are a lot of trigger foods for a lot of people. And so if you think about introducing trigger foods into your diet. You don't want to do it at a time that you already struggle. Yes, fruits used to be a big trigger food for me as well too, because people would say, oh, fruit has too much sugar, or you can't have bananas, or grapes have so many carbs. Like that was like a whole thing, right? So if you are introducing trigger foods into your diet, you don't want to do it at a time that you're already struggling. So for me, I would always struggle and I would always binge at night or when I was home alone. So if you want to start introducing some of these foods, you don't want to do it at a time where you're already struggling when you're home alone or you're by yourself, because you know that you're already going to binge, right? So maybe this is a time where you have certain foods during the day and when you're with people, right? Even one of my clients, I said to her, I said, if you're craving ice cream, call up a friend and go get ice cream. Like, don't do it in secret. Like, go out, have some ice cream, right? Like, you don't have to do it in secret, because if you already binge when you're in secret and then you are also having a trigger food, you're just going to binge. Okay. So that's what I would say when it comes to the binging. You got to release your food rules. You got to give yourself more time between feeling the urge to binge and giving in. You got to make sure that your meals are satisfying. Stop judging your food choices and introduce those kind of off-limit slowly at a time that is least triggering for you. Okay. Now, who here resonates with overeating? Drop a me down below if you can resonate more with overeating. So maybe you don't feel super out of control with food, but you know that you like eat past fullness. You're like, oh, I'm full. I didn't need all of that. Like, I just ate way too much. Okay. Yeah. Sophie says me. I, again, don't feel alone, you guys. I used to overeat at every one of my meals. I was binging, but also I was overeating at every single one of my meals. Like, I literally don't think there was a time where I did not overeat at my meals. Like, it was every meal. So if you're overeating, you want to engage in all of your five senses, right? Your sight, your smell, taste, like what you feel, what you see, because this is going to get you into your body and connect it to more mindfulness, right? So it's going to help you slow down, right? I eat fast. Yes. Right. Yeah. So the thing with eating super fast is, like, a lot of the times it could be you're waiting too long to eat, because then you're like starving and it's like, oh, I need to eat. And then you're just like ravenous. But if you're overeating, you really want to focus on all five of your senses, right? This is going to help slow you down. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you taste? Right. And it's also going to help you be like, do you even like the foods that you're eating? Like, is what you're eating even satisfying? Okay. And also, when you slow down, you can start to feel fullness a little bit more. When you are so mentally checked out and you're just eating so fast, again, you're not even tasting the food. You're not even checking in to see, like, if you're full. And then next thing you know, you're eating way past fullness. Okay. Now, the next thing that you can do if you're overeating is you can use a hunger scale. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's say 10 is like, I'm so full, and 1 is like, I'm starving. Check in with yourself. Like, before you even eat a meal, are you ravenous? Are you kind of hungry? Are you not hungry at all? Like, where are you at? Because this can really help prevent overeating. If you go into a meal and you are ravenous, the likelihood of you overeating is very, very high, because you waited too long to eat, right? Because then again, you're eating so fast, and then it's like you feel full, but it's like, but like, it only lasted 2 minutes. Like, I need more food. And then you just keep on eating. Okay. Also, in the middle of your meal, like, put your fork down, take a chill pill, like, feel your feet on the floor, feel your back against the chair, like, take a deep breath. Like, the food's not going anywhere, right? But so often, again, if you're waiting too long to eat and you're just scarfing food down your throat, you're not going to want to put your fork down. You're not going to even want to sit down. You're probably, again, standing up, right? So you want to create that pattern interrupt in the middle of your meal, like, round your feet, feel your sit bones on your chair, like, just put your fork down for 1 minute. Like, the food's not going anywhere. Put the utensil down, put the fork down. Like, you are going to be okay. Okay. The other thing, if you are you can put your fork down mid-meal. Yes, it's through an intention, right? It's about being cautious, right? Because again, it's like, if we don't think about this, and it's like you just go about your meal, and the next thing you know, you just like finish the meal, right? So this is all about being intentional. The other thing that you can do if you are overeating is practice meditation and breath work, because you want to regulate. Your food will not get cold if you put your fork down for 2 seconds. I promise you. So when you practice meditation and breath work, you are regulating your nervous system and you are becoming less impulsive with food. Breath work and meditation is honestly a tool for all the things, whether you're binging, you're overeating, you're emotionally eating, you're struggling with body image, like those two things you guys should be implementing very regularly. Okay. I do breath work with my clients in my academy every single month. It is so incredible. It's one of the most powerful healing modalities. If you've never tried breath work, you can also message me. I have a breath work bundle that you guys can start with. It's literally life-changing. Again, whether you're emotionally eating, you're overeating, it helps you become less impulsive with food. It regulates your nervous system. It helps you better cope with your emotions without turning to food. Okay. Alana is here. Alana got my breath work bundle. So cool that you just popped on. Okay. If you are emotionally eating, who can relate with emotional eating? Drop a me down below if you feel like you are resonating with emotional eating. Okay. So if you're emotionally eating, like I talked about, you're not hungry for food. You are hungry for comfort and validation and safety and love and these needs, right? So you have to start meeting these needs regularly, right? If somebody compliments you, how often do you like brush it off? Somebody says, oh, I love your hair. And you're like, oh God, I haven't washed it in 25 days. It's so greasy. Like, you're not getting your needs met. You're not feeling validated. You're not feeling seen, right? You're just kind of brushing off these compliments, right? That's just one example. But even like rest and pleasure, if you have a hard time resting and you feel guilty resting, then you're going to be go, go, go all the time. You're going to be burnt out. And what do you do when you're burnt out? You're tired, you're fatigued. So at the end of the day, the only thing that you might have time for is to numb out on some ice cream, right? So you got to meet your needs regularly, meeting your needs of even slowing down, having you time, all that is so important, having boundaries in your life so you're not stretched thin. Something else that you need to do when you're emotionally eating is to increase fun and pleasure and play in your life. Like I said, I love my work. You guys know, like, I show up every single day on here. Like, I love what I do. I love helping women heal their relationship with food and conquer binge eating. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it so freaking much. A few years ago, I had a really unhealthy relationship with rest and slowing down. And I used to literally burn myself to the ground. And I used to, like I said, never go out with friends. I used to, never want to go out and have fun, like even for a comedy night or go out with friends for dinner, because I'm like, no, I got to work. I got to, whether it was work or whether it was working out or whatever it was, I never had a lot of fun in my life. It was just work. And even though work is so fun for me, there was no like other sources of pleasure or fun in my life. And when you don't have fun and pleasure in your life, like I said, food becomes your main source of pleasure in your life. And you don't want that. Food is pleasurable, but it shouldn't be the main source of pleasure in your life. And if you are emotionally eating, right, and you're not, like I said, experience the fun and the pleasure in your life, then you're going to come at the end of the day, after a long, stressful day, you put your feet up on the couch and it's like, finally, time for me. Pleasure time. All right, I'm going to have the cookies or the chips or the ice cream, whatever it is. Okay. So that's what you really got to do. Again, breath work is so powerful. Hey, Elodie, breath work is so powerful, again, to process your emotions without turning to food. So there's all that. Now, body image struggles. Who here struggles with body image? Drop a me down below if you struggle with body image. I would say 99.9% of people who struggle with their relationship with food have body image struggles. For me, my body image struggles were a huge reason of why I started having an unhealthy relationship with food, because I was called fat in grade 8. And ever since I was called fat, I became obsessed with the way that my body looked. I tried to be smaller. I tried to eat less. I tried to fix my body. I over exercise to try to change my body. I always felt I needed to be smaller. How can I get smaller? How can I get smaller? How can I lose weight? How can I fix my body? And so if you are struggling with body image, the first thing that you need to do is who are you following on social media? Social media is such a beautiful place. Obviously, you connect with me, you learn so much from me, but there are people that you might be following that are actually toxic, that you think are motivating. Oh, this person looks so good. I'm gonna follow her to motivate myself. But do you feel like garbage after looking at those people? When you scroll on social media, do you leave feeling better or do you leave feeling worse about yourself? If somebody or an account or a person you find yourself comparing yourself to them, maybe it's the way that their body looks or whatever it is, it's actually not helpful for you, right? If you're following a bunch of fitness people who talk about macros and weight loss, that might not be for you, okay? You might not feel the best in your body. So who do you need to unfollow? Maybe you got to do a social media detox. The other thing that you need to do is you need to detach your worth from who you are. For the longest time, I believed that I was only worthy if I looked a certain way. If I looked a certain way, I was worthy. If I lost weight, I was worthy. And if I gained weight, I was unworthy. And that's not truth. You are worthy for who you are as a human being. Not the way that your body looks, not the size of the clothes that you wear. Your best friend. Why do you like hanging out with your best friend? It's because of who they are, of how they make you feel. You don't choose your best friends because, oh, this person's skinny, I'm gonna be friends with them. This person has a nice body, I'm gonna be friends with them. You never do that. You choose your friends based on how they make you feel, right? They're good listeners, you have fun with them, you can crack jokes with them. It's who they are, right? So people love you because of who you are. You are worthy because of who you are, not the size that you are, not the number on the scale, not the size of your clothes, none of that, okay? Something else that's really powerful when it comes to healing body image is inner child work. So even if you can literally print off a photo, of, go find yourself a photo of yourself when you're 5 years old, 7 years old, and look at that little version of yourself. Literally look at that little one. Look into her eyes, see how beautiful she is, how innocent she is, how amazing she is. And anytime you're having body image struggles and you're beating yourself up, remind yourself who you're speaking to. That little 5-year-old self is still you. She's still there. And every time you want to call yourself names or say you're not good enough, you would never say that to a little child. You would never say to a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, you're not good enough. You would never say half the things that you tell yourself today to a little child. So look at that photo. Anytime you're having a bad body image day, look at that little version of yourself and remind yourself who you really are, okay? The last 2 more things I will say when it comes to body image is you want to wear clothes that actually fit you. You know, people always tell me yeah, but if I get rid of my clothes that are too small, that I'm just settling in this body that I'm in right now. That's not true. You don't have to get rid of your clothes, but just put them aside and focus on wearing clothes that fit you. Because if you're squeezing into an outfit that's so small for you, what do you think about? You think about your body. If you're sitting down at the restaurant and your pants are so tight, you feel like you need to unbutton your pants and you're so uncomfortable, you're going to be thinking about your body. Versus if you just put on a comfortable outfit, you're going to feel better in your body and you're not going to think about your body as much. So that is self-respect. Self-respect is wearing clothes that actually fit you. Self-respect is feeling comfortable in your own skin, okay? Now, the last thing I would say if you're struggling with body image is you want to focus on healthy habits versus calories burnt. So healthy habits, movement from a place of self-love. What do you enjoy doing? What makes you feel really good? Maybe you really enjoy yoga or stretching or weightlifting.
but don't do it from a place of, I gotta burn off calories. I need to go for a run today. I need to do cardio today. Like, what do you actually want to be doing, right? Healthy habits, sleep, right? Like, sleep is so underrated. Like, if you're struggling with body image, like, stop focusing on calories burnt in the gym. Focus on healthy habits. Move your body from a place of self-love. Get in quality sleep. Change the way you're speaking to yourself. Like, get up on your first alarm. Like, utilize these healthy habits, right? Healthy habits over calories burnt is going to change the game, because when you're focusing on your healthy habits, you feel good, right? When you take such good care of yourself, you feel good about who you are. And that will heal body image far faster than actually changing the way that your body looks. So those are the tools of what to do. Whether you're binging, eating, whether you're emotionally eating, whether you're struggling with body image. The one tool that will be beneficial no matter where you're at, if you're binging, overeating, emotionally eating, struggling with body image, is community. You need to be part of a community that will remind you that you're not alone, that will remind you that, hey, I see you, I get you. You know, I also struggle with this, or you're not alone, or I'm also trying to speak more positively to myself, or I'm also, trying to work through emotional eating. Like, when you don't feel alone, it changes the game. And I would actually say that community is sometimes far more effective than any tool there is out there. Community is everything. So this is why, you guys, I really created my membership. Many of you guys know about my Root and Rewire membership. Like, I wanted one location where you literally have all of the foundational tools, whether you're binging, whether you're overeating, whether you're emotional eating, whether you're struggling with body image, whether you're thinking about food all day, whether you're eating in secret. I literally have all of the foundational tools that you need inside of this Root and Rewire membership. Like, every single tool. I struggled with my relationship with food for 10 years. I struggled with all these things: body image, emotional eating, stress eating, overeating, binge eating, feeling out of control with food. I struggled with all of that. And I was like, what do people need to heal? Well, they need the proper tools. They also need a community. They also need support from somebody who gets them, who's conquered, so that they can feel seen and feel understood. They need to be part of a community. They need to know what to do. So I've literally created, like, this is your home. My membership is your home, where you literally, for 6 or 12 months, you feel seen, you know exactly what to do, you have all the tools. You don't have to guess, like, oh, what should I do when I feel the urge to binge? Or, like, what should I do if I'm thinking about food all day long? You don't have to worry about what to do. All the tools are there for you. And you get monthly coaching with me, so expert coaching from me. You get the community aspect. So literally every single day, you're sharing your wins, you're sharing what you're struggling with. You can feel less alone. Everyone's cheering you on. The community aspect is literally what makes people be like, holy moly, like, I finally feel less alone for the first time in my life. Like, this community changed my life. So this is the membership. If you're not yet inside of the membership, you can message me, membership, and I'll send you all the details. There is literally everything you need. If you ask me, like, what program of yours should I join? Like, I'm not just struggling with one thing. Like, there's an array of different things. I'm feeling guilty. I'm binging. I've struggled with my relationship for food for quite some time. I'm thinking about food. I'm eating in secret. I'm emotionally eating. If you feel like you're kind of dealing with all these different things, this is one place to be, my membership. So again, you can message me, membership. I'll send you all the details. This is the place to be in 2024 to heal your relationship with food and to get out of the diet binge cycle. So I'm very, very excited. I'd love to support you. This membership is 6 or 12 months because I really want to give you guys the time, the tools to give yourself time to reprogram your brain, to give yourself time to actually sustainably heal your relationship with food for good. Not just for a month, not just for 2 months. Like, if you want to end this for good, this is the place to be. So I'm so excited. Hopefully this was helpful for you, whether you come into the membership or not. Maybe you're already in the membership. I know many of you guys are already in the membership. I'd love to see you inside. So again, DM me, membership. I'll send you all the details. But thank you for being here. I love you guys. Let's go into 2024 with the right mindset, ditching diet culture, focusing on sustainability, getting rid of your urges, getting out of the diet binge cycle so you never have to diet ever again. This is what it's all about. And if that's you, give me some hearts. If you're like, yes, that is me. I'm so freaking done with dieting. I'm ready to heal my relationship with food. I want to do things sustainably. Like, I am the person for you. So thank you guys for being here. Have an amazing rest of your day. Message me if you have any questions about the membership or any of my programs. I love you guys, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye.